The views and opinions expressed in the DILLIGAF podcast are those of the host alone and are not intended to express those of any other person, business, or entity. The DILLIGAF podcast is for entertainment only. These are my opinions and should not be interpreted as facts or advice. Think for yourself.
Keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh, yeah. I think that we've all had enough.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to Season 2 of the DILLIGAF podcast, talking about anything and everything that interests me. If it makes me think, laugh, cry, scream, rage, or say what the fuck, you're going to hear about it. My name's Tom. I'm your host. Thank you to everybody for watching or listening on YouTube, TikTok, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Make sure you're following on social media. The show is at DILLIGAF_pod on all socials. And if you ever want to shoot us an email, it's dilligafpod@gmail.com. And you can find all that and more on my Linktree, which is Linktree/DILLIGAF_pod, or scan the little QR code right there in the corner of your screen. You'll find all the links to all the socials and all the podcast platforms and all that kind of fun stuff. So back from a little bit of a break, starting up Season 2. This is Episode 1 of Season 2, and it is May the 3rd, but that is close enough to May the 4th for me, so May the 4th be with you. We are talking again about Star Wars today, and I want to be talking about something very specific in the Star Wars universe today, something that has been very polarizing, I guess would be the right word, to Star Wars fans. We're going to be talking about The Acolyte, the Disney Plus series. Now, I want to make it very clear, first and foremost, I enjoyed The Acolyte. I actually just rewatched it for the second time, and I honestly like it. Is it the best Star Wars show ever made? No. My favorite is still Obi-Wan and Ahsoka. It's kind of close between those two for me. But I saw no issue with The Acolyte, but there were so many people just bitching and moaning about it. And I really don't understand why. I mean, I think the biggest complaint that I heard about it was it's too woke. People throw that phrase around so much that it has lost all meaning. I don't think people even know what woke means anymore. I mean, I'm sure I would be called woke simply because I respect other people and their right to live their lives how they choose to. I have compassion and empathy and just show common courtesy to people and respect. Again, I guess that's woke. Well, if that's woke, then I'm woke. Whatever. But and one of the biggest issues with that is that the actor who played the two main characters in the show, Osha and May, the twin sisters, is non-binary. Who cares? Honestly, who cares? Why is that an issue? The character wasn't non-binary. Neither of them. You know, the characters, Osha and May, throughout the entirety of the show, were referred to as she and her. They were referred to as sisters, so obviously the characters were female. Why does it matter what the actor identifies as? Who cares? She played the part and she played it well. But anyway, that was that was like everybody, one of the big complaints about it. To me, it's just plain stupid. I mean, do people not realize Star Wars has always been woke? Look at the different races in the Star Wars universe and different races of people in power, all throughout the Star Wars universe. Star Wars has always been woke, folks, just like Marvel, just like DC. I think people just need to have something to complain about. Like, if they don't have something to complain about for some reason, their life is not complete. It's the same way people complained about the prequels. They just, I mean, bashed Jake Lloyd as Anakin in episode one. They weren't real kind to Hayden Christensen in episode two and three. They complained about the CGI. They complained about the story, which, I mean, come on. We all knew what was going to happen in the prequels. We knew it was the rise and fall of Anakin Skywalker because we had already seen the next three. We knew he was turning into Darth Vader. It just showed us how it happened. There wasn't some big, huge surprise at the end of episode three. We all knew it was going to happen, but they still found tons of shit to complain about. But now, 20 plus years later, everybody loves them, and now they're bitching and moaning about the sequels and the live action series and whatever. But apparently, we have some new shows coming to Disney Plus. We're gonna get a Darth Maul animated show. I am so excited about that to see what happened to Maul between the ending of Clone Wars and basically just what happened to him after that. I mean, we saw him again in Solo as the leader of a criminal enterprise, but it was a cameo. I do love that it was Ray Park though. That's awesome. But so we're gonna get to see more of Darth Maul, which I think is very very cool. And we've got another new show called I think it's Starfighter, Star something. I don't remember. I didn't write that down in my notes. But yeah, another new show that I guess is taking place after Rise of Skywalker. So that's kind of cool. That will kind of fill in a gap between Rise of Skywalker and the new trilogy that's going to be starting with Daisy Ridley. So I'm looking forward to that one as well. I just love Star Wars. There's certain things that I like more than others, but I love it all. It's all Star Wars. It's all good. It's all part of this amazing, awesome universe that George Lucas bestowed upon us almost 50 years ago. And I can't get enough. I'm currently watching everything Star Wars in timeline order. I started with The Acolyte, watched Phantom Menace, watched Attack of the Clones. Now I'm into the Clone Wars. And I'm going to continue going all the way through The Rise of Skywalker. Every movie, every short, every animated series, every live action series, I plan to watch it all. But getting back to The Acolyte, I personally was a fan of The Acolyte because of a few different reasons. Number one, it shows us some stuff from the High Republic era, 100 years before Phantom Menace, and it plants some seeds and it shows us some stuff that we haven't seen before. It shows us that the Jedi are not infallible. They are imperfect. They are susceptible to corruption and to their own emotions and attachments, just like any other person. It shows us the Jedi are human, for lack of a better word. I know they're not all human, but you get my meaning. It shows us that the Jedi are flawed, just like anybody else. And I think a lot of people didn't like that. But that's kind of a necessary thing. If they're not flawed, if they were perfect, you'd never have a fallen Jedi. You would have never had Darth Vader. I mean, if the Jedi are perfect, the entire Star Wars canon is shot to hell. So I like the fact that it showed us that the Jedi are fallible, are capable of corruption and just poor judgment in some cases. It shows us that they're just people like the rest of us. So I personally like that. And through this show, we see the beginning, the very beginning of the downfall of the Republic. We got our first live action look at Darth Plagueis, even though it was only for like 2 seconds. He's hiding in a cave. But, that's That's kind of where it all began. That's where the downfall of the Republic began, was with Darth Plagueis, and he's got his current student and acolyte, as it were, and you can use your own imagination to figure out how this leads up into the Phantom Menace. Obviously he has not taken Palpatine on as his apprentice yet. Palpatine's not even born yet. So this is pre-Palpatine. This was his first, well, we don't know if it's his first apprentice, but his previous apprentice. And you can already see his plans are in place or are starting to take shape. And I find that fascinating. Like, I want to see more. I hope they bring the Acolyte back for season two. Give it at least one more season. Tie up some of those loose ends at the first season left, because they canceled it because of all the bad reviews and negative bullshit from stupid ass people. Bring it back for one more season. Give it one more season just to tie up some of those loose ends. And it may take more than just 8 episodes, but fuck it, do it. I want more. I wanted to see where this is going and how it leads us into the Phantom Menace. How do we get from OSHA to Palpatine? Another one of the big things that a lot of people had an issue with was OSHA and May. And they were part of a coven of Force witches, basically. And it was all women. So, of course, everybody said, oh, it's a coven of lesbians. Well, first of all, there was nothing sexual about this show whatsoever. So, y'all are guessing at best. But OSHA and May were created by this coven, by the leader of this coven specifically, through a vergence in the Force. Well, that kind of sounds familiar. That kind of sparks Anakin, because Anakin was just kind of created out of thin air. There was no father. He was just kind of conceived, if you will, by the Force. And then we find out later on, a lot of speculation stuff, that it was Darth Plagueis who actually manipulated the Force to conceive Anakin, kind of the same way these witches manipulated the Force to conceive Osha and May. Do you think maybe Plagueis learned or stole that power from the Coven? I mean, he's basically at the end of the show, he's got Osha in his grasp as the Sith acolyte. Osha was part of this coven. Could that maybe be how Plagueis learned that power? I'd like to find out. It makes sense to me that that's how it happened. And that would explain a huge chunk of Anakin's backstory that people have been arguing about for decades. So I don't see the problem with that. They manipulated the Force. They created these two beings who are actually one being in two bodies. Like, one, they share the same mind. Basically, they're one person in two bodies. Is the my understanding of how it was explained in the show. But they were created through a vergence in the Force, same way that Anakin was. There's a connection there. But people are complaining about it like Anakin was supposed to be the only one that was ever created that way. Well, I don't know. Like I said, it makes sense to me that this coven, these twins, this is how Plagueis came by that power. Whether they taught him or whether he stole it from them. That's how Plagueis came by this power. That's my personal theory, because it makes sense. Another thing that people complained about so much was Osha bleeding the kyber crystal in Soul's lightsaber, saying that, oh, it's supposed to be a long and painful process and blah 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 blah. When how many times have we seen a kyber crystal bled by a Sith? Now the people will say, oh, Darth Vader in the comic books, and it almost killed him and this and that. Well, yeah, Vader wasn't wholly evil. We found that out. He was still torn. He was still conflicted about turning to the dark side. We found that out in Return of the Jedi. So yeah, I would imagine if you are not fully invested in the dark side, it's going to be a long and painful process bleeding a kyber crystal. But if we look at the video game Jedi Survivor, Dagon Gera, we see him do the same thing. He opens up his lightsaber, takes the crystal in a matter of seconds. He's fully invested in the dark side because he feels so betrayed by the Jedi Order. Same can be said for Osha. She feels totally betrayed. She has just found out that her mentor, her Jedi Master Soul, is the one who murdered her mother. And she is in the midst of force choking him, totally straight faced, totally calm, just choking the life out of him, literally. And all of her rage and her anger and her pain and her hatred is just flowing through her body directly into that kyber crystal because she is physically touching it because the saber was cracked. The housing, the hilt was cracked. So she's physically touching it, and all of that dark side energy is just flowing through her straight into that crystal. Of course it bled. It was pure, raw emotion at that moment that she was channeling into that crystal. So of course it bled. I would say her turn is probably the most canon one we've ever seen as far as how it goes. You have to kill a Jedi with no weapon. She force choked his ass to death. A Sith is supposed to get their lightsaber. It's supposed to be taken off of a fallen Jedi, and they bleed the kyber crystal. She did all that shit at the same time. Okay, she is a Sith Lord. That's all there is to that as far as I'm concerned. So again, I don't have an issue with that. It makes perfect sense to me. But people are going to argue about it. People are going to complain and that's what I hate about the Star Wars fandom is people can't just enjoy what they enjoy and kind of not worry about what they don't enjoy. Like I said, there's certain stuff in the Star Wars universe that I'm not the biggest fan of, but it doesn't diminish my enjoyment of Star Wars as a whole. There are certain episodes of the Clone Wars that I skip over because I just don't like them a whole lot. Doesn't mean I'm never gonna watch the Clone Wars again. I just skip those episodes. Whatever. As far as the movies go, I definitely have favorites as far as the movies. I definitely have favorites as far as the live action shows. But it's all Star Wars. It's all part of this amazing universe again that George Lucas gave us almost 50 years ago. And it's to me, it's the greatest thing in the fucking world. I am a Star Wars nerd, and I'm proud of that fact. I mean, just to give a little example here, and also just because I just want to show it off, I've been working on those of you that are watching the video. I've been working on this full sleeve tattoo for well over a year now. It's just about done. I got one more maybe hour long session to go, and it'll be 100% complete. But one thing that I told my artist when we were working on it is because it's all of the signs of the zodiac, all 12 signs of the zodiac, and the background fill in stuff is all space themed because zodiac signs, constellations. So we've got comets and planets and sun and moon and stars. And one thing that I had to work in just because is right there. Those of you watching the video can see. Yes, that is the Millennium Falcon. I fucking love Star Wars. It's been a part of my life damn near since birth. The original Star Wars, before it was even called A New Hope, the original Star Wars came out in theaters the same week that I was born. I always say because of that, I have a kinship with Star Wars. Some of y'all might find that a little silly. It sounds cool to me, but I just wish everyone could just enjoy what they enjoy. And if it's not your thing, that's okay. That doesn't mean it can't be somebody else's thing. If you didn't like the Acolyte, if it didn't satisfy your need or your love for Star Wars, that's okay. But don't get down on somebody who did like it. Like I said, I thought it was good. It's not the greatest Star Wars thing I've ever seen, but I thought it was good. So I don't know. That's pretty much all I have to say about the Acolyte. Like I said, there's a new Darth Maul series coming out. There's a new, I think it's called Starfighter. I should have put it in my notes, but I didn't. I think it's called Star Wars Starfighter. Looks pretty cool. We got Ahsoka season 2 coming out. Dave Filoni was talking about that. We're gonna have the entire crew from Rebels in Ahsoka season 2, including Zeb and everybody else. I would love to see a cameo of a Force Ghost of Kanan. I'm just throwing that out there. I think that would be cool, but I don't think it'll happen. I don't know who would play him. Would it actually be Freddie Prinze Jr. or would they get somebody else? I don't know. But I would love to see Kanan's Force Ghost just for a second. Just coming to Ezra, telling him something, giving him some last little bit of wisdom. I don't know. But I don't think that's going to happen. But we've got Ezra, we've got Hera, we've got Sabine, we've got Zeb, we've got Chopper, all going to be in season 2 of Ahsoka. Thrawn's going to be back. They said there's going to be like half of the series is going to be some big, huge battle. There's going to be a whole nother war, which obviously this is going to lead into the First Order somehow and the sequel trilogy. So I am very excited about that. I cannot wait for Ahsoka season 2 to come out. And, you know, like I said, Star Wars fans, if you are a fan, be a fan. Love what you love. Forget about what you don't like. Just skip over it. Who is it hurting? Some people take it so personally. And at the end of the day, yes, it is great. It's one of my favorite things in the world. It's what I call my comfort show, comfort movies, whatever. It's stuff that I put on if I'm having a bad day, if I'm feeling depressed. I can throw on some Star Wars and I feel better because it's just been a part of me since I was born, like I said. But at the end of the day, it's just a movie. It's just a TV show. It's just a cartoon. It's not the end of the world if they don't tell the story that I think they should tell. Like if we don't get season 2 of The Acolyte, it's not the end of the world. If we don't get more of an explanation of Darth Plagueis and how all of that plays into the fall of the Republic and the rise of the Empire, I mean, I would love to see it, but if I don't get to, it's not the end of the world. So remember, guys, we're all Star Wars fans, but we all love Star Wars for different reasons. We all love different things about Star Wars. Just be nice to each other. Show each other some respect. It's not that hard. If somebody likes something that you don't particularly like, talk to them about it. Maybe they can explain to you why they like it. Maybe it's something you missed about it. Maybe hearing why they like it will make you give that show or that movie another chance and sit down and watch it one more time with the the knowledge or whatever that this other person gave you. Instead of tearing them down, oh, you like that crap, talk to them about why they like it. Like, oh, I wasn't really a fan. What about it spoke to you? What grabbed your attention about that? Because I couldn't get into it or whatever. I mean, at the very least, you get to have a conversation about Star Wars, and that's never a bad thing. So I think that's going to wrap me up. I'm not trying to get too philosophical on you guys, but I love Star Wars. I know So many people around the world love Star Wars. So, like I said, just be nice to each other. That's it. It's not hard. And just accept that there's going to be content coming out not everybody's going to like. That's not going to follow all the old content that we had in Star Wars Legends. Some of it might. We've gotten some stuff from Star Wars Legends, like Thrawn is now canon, but we're not going to get everything. That's okay. I'm excited every time I hear something new about Star Wars is coming out. But accept the fact that we're not going to get everything from Legends back into canon. Accept the fact that you're not going to like everything that they put out. That doesn't mean it's bad. It just means you don't like it. So that's about it. I also have to mention, not to bring the show down or anything, but I want to dedicate this show to one of my really good friends. Passed away a few months ago. He was probably the biggest Star Wars fan that I know. And it's one of the things that me and him bonded over. And yeah, it just he passed away unexpectedly a few months ago. And I would just feel remiss if I didn't mention him during a Star Wars episode. So Taz, my friend, this one's for you. Rest in peace. And I miss you, brother. So with that, I am going to wrap the show up for right now. But again, thank you to everybody for watching or listening on YouTube, TikTok, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast from. Make sure you're following on social media. It's at DILLIGAF_pod on all socials. Make sure you're follow, like, subscribe, share, rate, comment. All that stuff really does help out the show. And if you ever want to shoot me an email, it's dillygafpod@gmail.com. And you can find all that and more on my Linktree, which is linktree/dillygaf_pod, or scan the little QR code right here in the corner of the screen and you'll find all that information there. But I am going to sign off for right now. And if anyone has any issues with anything that I have said here today, ask yourself one question. Do I look like I give a fuck?
'Cause we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution.